made it to Derbyshire. That's the name of the area we're in. We are currently heading to go see Chatsworth House, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to stop on our way down to Buxton, where we're staying for a couple of nights to visit and explore the Peak District. It's an area I've wanted to come to for years, and again, always made an excuse not to. However, it is now part of our route and our trip, so I'm really excited. I've never visited this part of the country, and just look at the greenery. It's incredible. You see different scenery that you don't usually or at least I didn't sort of attribute to England. So it's nice and it's beautiful out here. I'm excited to check out Chatsworth House and just see the whole beauty and nature of this country. And I have yet to explore some good driving roads. The way down on up from the M1 was pretty uneventful, a lot of lorries, but we managed to make some good ground on the way, so not bad overall. We covered about a couple hundred miles to get here, and so far we've done about 1,000 miles in a week on our trip. We have another 1,000+ miles to go in this whole adventure, so I'm excited. This is more than I'm usually used to putting on the car, but yeah, it's all in good spirits, and I'll see you guys once we arrive. Have made it to Glasgow, and I wanted to share with you this. Actually, there's a couple of things. One is that I'm nearing the 25,000 miles, which is pretty big milestone. The other thing, we're just clocked nearly 1,300 miles on our 2,000 mile plus trip. It'll be interesting to see what we end up clocking at the end when we are back in London. However, the other thing is so it's a 250 mile trip that we made up from the Peak District to Glasgow, our first stop in the Scotland route, and there's nearly 160 miles left according to the trip computer, so that's pretty amazing. It's been pretty impressive, especially considering we've been driving pretty swiftly, so yeah, I've been pretty pleased with that. So I've just parked up. We came to the Three Lochs in the New Forest, I think that's what it's called, and it's meant to be 7 miles of beautiful drive through the forest basically. And we just parked up to pay a toll, to drive through the road, and just parked casually. Here is Carrera 4S, basically the same as mine but the newer version. The Gen 2, the one with the rear brake lights, and I must say I do like it. It's a very interesting color combination, cream with brown, with cacao sort of espresso interior and the top as well. It's a very specific taste, but it does look interesting out in the wild, and it's always good to get a comparison sort of shot and video, and just to look at the two next to each other side by side. But what's interesting is that you can see how much wider mine is. You know, the 4S, the 996, it just sits bulkier. So I like its stance. The 997 is more fine. All right, so we're just about to drive on the Three Lochs forest drive, and it just looks incredible. I'm excited to see what it's all about. Some real twisties in here. Some real twisties. Nice. manual. Nice. Put it in second and go for it. Woo! Incredible. This is amazing. Woo! There's a Ford coming quite fast. Let's go. Oh! Oh my days, this is amazing. I did not expect that. I hadn't actually seen any photos. It just said 7 miles through the forest. And I was like, yes, let's do it. Oh, this is amazing. Drop it into second and go. Woo! Oh, so good. Come on, traction. I need this four-wheel drive right now because it's been pouring down with rain. So this is so good. Look at that. Oh, look at that ahead. Amazing. Woo! 5,000 RPM, 6,000 RPM. Come on! Beautiful. The tarmac is so fresh. Oh, look at that, twisting. Woo! What is it? It took us about an hour from Glasgow, so not far. It's about a 35 mile drive from Glasgow. So it took us about an hour in not great conditions. It had been pouring rain, and I just thought we'll try and make the most out of it, but we'll just hope for the best. And luckily it's cleared up, so I'm very pleased about that. This would not have been good in the rain. All right, come on, camper. All right, okay, we got an opportunity. Woo! Look at the roads. Oh, amazing. Oh, amazing. Woohoo! A nice twisty coming up. Oh! I can do this all day. Oh, I love the traction coming out of those four wheels. It's just so reassuring on a day like this. You can just push it a lot more knowing that you do have the traction. Okay, so we have made it to Glencoe just in time. The heavens had opened. On the way we were hoping for a break while we set up camp, and luckily we got it. It's dry with a lot of wind, as you can see. It's flapping about. We managed to set up a tent. This is my first time setting up a tent ever. With the help of my wife, we managed to do it just about, and hopefully it will stay in place throughout the night. I'm excited. This place is absolutely incredible. It's I did not expect this. The location is absolutely really, well, it's just out of this world. So this is a camping sort of site. There's a lot of motorhomes, not many cars sort of with just tents like us, but it's an exciting time. We wanted to try it out while in the Highlands. We thought, why not? It's really the only place you want to do that in. The surroundings, just everything really lends itself well to setting up camp. So we're taking the opportunity to do it. And yeah, what a view. Parked up the car just in front with the beautiful scenery, the lake, the water, or the Lochs, as they say here, the Loch. So yeah, so we're gonna camp out here for the night and then head out early morning to experience the roads that we have just come on, because they are magnificent. People at Inveraray Castle allowed me to come in, drive through the front gates and pull up and take photos with this beautiful backdrop, their home in the Scottish Highlands. And I'm so grateful and so thankful for their hospitality. The people here have been genuinely very friendly and just, you know, amazing. So you meet me at a petrol station. It's about just 6:45 in the morning. We are on the way to Ullapool. We're gonna take the route from Ullapool all the way to Durness in Scotland, and we want to try and tackle the roads nice and early. But before we do that, I want to make sure we're topped up, because I heard along the way there's not really much in the way of petrol. So just so we have our own freedom, it's good to be safe than sorry. pretty much for the whole time we've been in Scotland. But we've had enough dry spells that it's allowed us to enjoy the roads. I want to quickly just show you the road. However, all right, yeah, so I wanted to share my thoughts on the roads that we've been driving on so far. We did a big one yesterday, which was the Ullapool to Durness drive, and that was very nice. I was highly recommended that route. It's about I think an 80-mile route that takes you from a small but very quaint fishing village in Ullapool, which is the starting point, all the way to Durness. And I was expecting quite a lot from that road. Top Gear covered it in some aspect. They did a bigger route, I believe. But anyways, I expected quite a lot from that route, and it delivered to an extent, but not massively. The route through Ullapool to start off with is actually pretty incredible. The twists and turns were amazing. Some of the best roads I've ever driven on. However, as you carry on, the last, I think, maybe 40 miles of that route, you go onto a single sort of track with some passing opportunities, but it's a bit droning. I didn't find it very enjoyable, and that's just my point of view. And I've just driven on it yesterday, so my thoughts are still very fresh. Beautiful scenes. Across Scotland, the scenes are absolutely amazing, especially in that sort of region. It's very sort of it's all the Highlands, so you have incredible scenes, and especially also during that route you have sort of the seaside view on one side. So it was really nice to drive on. However, it didn't offer so much excitement the whole way. Now we are heading back south towards Aberdeen, and we are currently on the Old Military Road. It's dubbed the Old Military Road. It's the A93, and in a lot of ways it offers a lot more driving enjoyment. It has so far been absolutely incredible. We've taken it sort of our starting point is from Inveraray, and the roads from there, once you get on the Old Military Road through the forests, are just incredible. The bends are so progressive, and you just sort of, hunker down with the car. I've really enjoyed it. And now we're on open stretches, and the views are getting really nice. There are different sort of views. They remind me a lot of the Peak District. However, it's amazing. They're amazing. Let me quickly show you the road. It's just incredible. It's miles and miles of this basically, and it really is nice. Beautiful A roads, really nice progressive B roads. So yeah, so this road is actually quite famous as well, the Old Military Road. So that's why, another reason why I wanted to drive on this. And for me, it's just been a lot more enjoyable. It's offered me a lot, just a lot of driver enjoyment so far, and I've really engaged more with the car on these types of roads. So now we are heading down to Aberdeen, where we will be nearing the end of our Scottish trip. We'll spend a night or two and then head towards Edinburgh and eventually back to London. So yeah, onwards we continue. quickly wanted to stop even though it's raining and just admire and show you the roads. For miles they continue beautifully. This is called the Old Military Road in Scotland, and it is just incredible. The turns are so progressive. The A roads, the B roads, they've just been absolutely immaculate. And the view as well, as far as the eye can see, just stunning. Absolutely filthy. It's racked up a lot of dirt. I have not washed it in a very long while, and I can't bear to leave it another night, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash it. It's actually translating cleaner for some reason on camera than it actually is in real life, but there's so much dirt. So yeah, and I've also accumulated a few stone chips, which I'm not too happy about, so I'll need to address those in the not too distant future. Okay, so we are finally back in London and back in my garage at home, and it feels great, I must say. It's been quite the journey, and it feels good to finally be back home. I want to quickly share with you some stats on the numbers that we have finally clocked up on this trip. I, at the start of this, thought it was going to be around 2,000 miles that we were going to cover around the UK, which is quite a considerable number in a short space of time in England. However, we have the final number that we have is right here, which is 2,800 and something, so just under 3,000 miles, which is quite a bit more. It's nearly 50% more than I had originally anticipated, but that's the beauty of sort of going on a road trip. And I intentionally sort of deviated from the original plan and the original sort of routes, and I knew along the way there was going to be other destinations and other places that we were going to visit and just explore, and that was the beauty of this trip. And these are sort of the more memorable ones that I will cherish for a very long time. The car has been just incredible, and I hope that translated on some of these roads, but it was just fantastic to be able to the beauty of Scotland, and perhaps maybe with COVID as well, there wasn't much in the way of traffic and people, although having said that, there were quite a few caravans. I guess everyone's just sort of with more restrictions in flying, everyone's thinking of different ways to travel, and caravans seem to be the thing right now. So there were quite a few of those up in the Highlands. However, for the most part, roads were just beautiful and empty, and just people there also are very considerate. They give you space to overtake. They don't try and stick to your lane or anything like that. They're very considerate, and in fact there are actually signs put up on the road saying please allow overtaking. So it's a very sort of there's somehow a culture for driving there, which I found quite intriguing, but very good. I said originally when I brought the car sort of out from its long hiatus, and back then, and it was only a few months ago actually, I had just done 21,000 miles, and now it's 26,500 miles, which is crazy because it's such a small number, right? But we've put just under 3 in the last 2 weeks alone, so it's a big number in that respect. But I did promise myself that bringing the car out again, it was going to be driven, it was going to be really enjoyed, and I had planned to do a European trip, but opted for the UK instead, and I'm so glad I've finally been able to do that. And I still want to do Europe as well, so I can't wait for that. Hopefully in the near future, once we are sorted out with passport issues and everything like that, and COVID restrictions are lessened, and we'll see what happens. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this part of the tour, and you enjoyed looking at the wonderful places in Scotland. I couldn't cram everything into this video because it was literally over maybe 3 hours of footage, so I've tried to shrink it all down into a more manageable size. So yeah, so if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing and let me know in the comments what you guys thought and what you want to see in the next video. So until then, stay safe and I'll see you guys very soon.